All right, let us go to The Teacher. The Teacher, directed by Farah Nabulsi. Nabulsi, hope I said that right. Farah Nabulsi. Um, Stars a few, well, the people that the main people here are going to be, let me see if I can get this here. You've got Adam, played by Mohammed Abed Al-Rahman. You've got Bassem El Salah. He's your main guy, played by Saleh Bakri. And you've got Lisa, played by Imogen Poots. And you might be like, wow, I heard a lot of names that sounded somewhat Middle Eastern if for to my, normal normie Western ears. And then I heard Imogen Poots in the middle of that. Imogen Poots, which, she's a very known actress at this point in the indie scene. What is this movie? Well, The Teacher takes place in Palestine, Palestinian settlement in the West Bank, and she is like I didn't write down exactly what she is, but she's like a kind of like the idea of a Western worker that likes to go in there and try to, be an aid worker or help the Palestinians try to keep going, I guess is what I could say. She's there to help, social worker kind of person. But she can only have so much effect in that conflict. The main guy, the teacher, I'm just gonna call him the teacher. I'm gonna call her Lisa and call him the teacher, and Adam is the kid. That's probably the easiest way to kind of set this up. And it's interesting because after just watching, what was the movie? No Other Land? Oh my gosh, I can't remember the exact name of it. It was the Oscar-winning documentary about the West Bank just this last year, which I reviewed, and it was a great movie. I already understood kind of the basic sort of dynamic there, which is represented here as well. This is a dramatic movie as opposed to a documentary. Basic dynamic, once again, is the Israelis will proclaim an area in the West Bank, as for some reason it is not really essentially owned anymore by the Palestinians living there. For example, in the movie, the No Other Land movie, I hope I'm remembering that name right. I'm sorry if I'm not. In that documentary, they would basically claim it a tank training area, and then they would go in like just randomly and destroy a house or destroy a building, and they would do it very slowly to basically kind of crush the spirit of the people who live there, because people would be trying to live and think like, oh well, maybe my land will be spared, but no, one day the military vehicles and a bulldozer will come in and just destroy a single house and then leave. And you see that represented here. So the teacher, of course, he's teaching, young Palestinian people, young Palestinian men, it looks like mostly. One of them is Adam, and Adam's brother is there as well. Adam's brother is a little more of a little more, I don't know, he's definitely trying to fight against the Israelis as much as possible. He's much more of a outward, and he's gotten in trouble for it. He's spent some time in detainment for that and in jail, which doesn't take much to do if you know the situation there. Anyway, their house basically gets destroyed. It's not a huge reveal. It's kind of the opening of the movie, essentially. The teacher's nearby as well, and they, watch the house get destroyed. The two brothers are basically angry, of course, understandably distraught. Their family has to relocate to a nearby other family member's house, and but you see them kind of still hanging out at the ruins of their house. And there's a couch out front. Two brothers are sitting there. Let's just say another occurrence happens with the Israelis that causes a conflict and causes I don't know if I should reveal it or not. I'm just gonna say it because I think it's kind of the inciting incident. It causes the death of one of the brothers. And essentially what you'll have in the rest of the movie, if you have the interrelationship between the teacher, the Western activist, Lisa, one of the brothers that survived, and how they are all battling with, how do you survive in this world? How do you resist in that world in a way that doesn't destroy you? How do you maybe find a reason to live again when you've lost something? Because you'll find more about the past of Lisa. You'll find more about the past of the teacher. You find, of course, about the one of the kids that's, the brothers that's still alive, and it's just a very, very affecting, moving, really well done, just kind of a political human drama, as you might expect. It is not the fastest movie in the world, as you might expect. This is not an action movie, and it's a pretty heavy movie, as you might expect. But there's some really great action. There are some tense moments because, like I said, any moment the Israelis might roll in. This, of course, is a very partisan movie. So if you are strongly on one side, this could be very triggering to some people, depending on which side they're on, because it does represent the people resisting the Israeli kind of incursion into, if you want to call it that, into the West Bank. Definitely, and it views that as the enemy. And it reviews the people against that as freedom fighters, whereas depending on which side you're on, you might see the other side as terrorists and the one side as freedom fighters. So it could go either way depending on kind of where you stand. I think that if you can let that political stuff go to the degree of if you're super partisan on one side or the other, I think you could still appreciate this as a human story where you have humans in a very dangerous and kind of soul crushing situation, just trying to find a way to kind of hold on to the bits of the humanity they have. And in that sense, I think it's a pretty beautiful movie. It isn't quite, this is that kind of movie that you could see like, oh, is this going to be Oscar level? It isn't quite there to me. Although there's some pretty great performances by all the three principals that I just named. I definitely could recommend this. I'm probably going to go 4 stars on The Teacher. Like I said, it's a little slow, and it's definitely a very this isn't like a fun or exciting romp. If I hadn't seen the documentary, I might have gone higher on this because I might have felt like I learned more. And I think for people who haven't delved into the documentary I was talking about, this might go even higher for them because they're going to be like, wow, I just never really knew like kind of how things are working over there. But I felt I had a pretty good handle on that based on that other experience. So that side of it didn't really, you know, kind of, I guess, unlock anything new for me. So I probably would have gained even more, like I said, if I hadn't known that. So 4 stars for The Teacher, definitely worth seeking out. It's a solid movie.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.